major aspects of the personality will start to loosen and dissolve away. And I do feel like there may be aspects of the personality self, skills, abilities, definitely that the Holy Spirit can use. But the purpose for those skills and abilities is so different than for building a self-concept and like strengthening the personality. It's more actually for loosening from it and serving the whole, really kind of that service mentality. So I find that it's kind of fun to watch how personalities come together almost like a symphony with people playing different instruments, and you can hear the beauty of the symphony. But it takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of mind training, and you just have to be very patient and really tolerant while you're going through the process, because other than that it can, you can just kind of shut off the process again. With the split mind, there can be the feeling of a deeper sense of guilt and a sense of being out of control. And what the world does is the world is just like a menu of different options, but the struggle comes in with observing these behaviors and trying to control them. And it's just a version of this ego pattern of trying to bring stability and trying to maintain existence by controlling the world. So controlling weight or controlling what the body eats is just an example. It plays out in different ways for other people. That's just an example of how this kind of addiction plays out. The addiction really is to judgment. The mind's addicted to judging. And it's a very unnatural thing. The mind wasn't created to judge. It was created to be. And so judging is very, very unnatural. And then, in order to kind of bring a sense of control, there can be a sense of trying to control the body or control behavior. And at some point, when you start working with the Course, it has to become more and more obvious that, oh, this is going to be a mind training. I'm going to have to do a mind overhaul here before I'm going to have a sense of peace and stability coming in. So you could say that the food and the sugar it's getting your attention. Also, it can be very stressful because when there's beliefs around particular foods and beliefs on its interaction with the body, that's all learned as well. So there's causation that's given to things, like sugar. Sometimes they think of sugar and hyper, or sugar can be associated with various states of mind and so forth. And ultimately, A Course in Miracles is about flushing up into awareness all these false cause-effect beliefs that involve form, and releasing them to the Holy Spirit, so that you become more stabilized in choosing with the Holy Spirit and starting to realize that the mind is causative and only the mind is causative. In one sense, it's like, okay, I've got my spiritual path, but there will be temptation that will arise here and there, and it's the very things where it seems to be wildly out of control that the ego will try to use, to increase a sense of anxiety or a sense of fear, of literally losing control. And that's the feeling of an addiction. It's as if you're at the mercy of something, that you are losing your sense of choice or your sense of control with it. And the Course in Miracles is bringing you back, to a sense of that control, but it's all at the level of mind and thoughts. It's never about trying to control behaviors. Oftentimes too, there's a lot of self-concept conditioning about weight and body image and looks. And so certain thoughts are raised up as being, really important based on these self-concept and these body image thoughts. And the ego is using this body image, as a replacement for spirit. And eventually, as you keep doing the mind training, then you find that the things that seem to be addictive patterns just start to become less and less and less. You loosen from them. You outgrow them, literally, as you are able to focus more on the miracle. The other things just fall away. The symbols of the world is what the sleeping mind believes in. So of course they're great tools for practice. So things like food, diet, exercise, it's common that the Holy Spirit can use these as mind training devices. The goal is peace of mind. The goal isn't a particular outcome or appearance. So all of the ego's self-concept goals are form-based. Bigger, better, faster, more. It's this sense of self-improvement, of trying to, whatever, make the body look better, a better house, a better car. There's this a tendency of the ego to glorify physical structures, whether it's the body or other structures. And then there's also the sense with the body that the ego actually hates the body because it doesn't feel like it's a good enough home. So it's the flip side. The ego literally doesn't know what anything is for, and it has no unified goal for the form. So at times it tries to glorify, build it up, and then rip it down. With a golfer, Tiger Woods, oh, great, the best in the world. Boom, yeah, good, cutting down, The ego loves to see them fall, The higher they rise, the farther they fall. And the ego loves the drama of the whole thing, It's like, it loves to see idols raised up, and it likes to see them ripped down. As long as you keep believing in the idols, it doesn't care if they're raised up or ripped down. And you could say that the definition that Jesus gives of temptation, Jesus says, what is temptation but the wish to make illusions real? So once you start to follow that definition, it's like, oh, that's what temptation is. It's the ego's wish to make illusions real. What does that even mean? If illusions by definition are false, and it's the attempt to make them true, how does the ego do this? It does it through preferences. It does it through judgment. It does it through what Jesus called hierarchies of illusions. But once you start to give yourself over to working miracles and to tapping into that peace of mind, then these so-called hierarchies lose importance. You start to care less and less and less about those hierarchies. Because peace is your goal. And peace of mind means letting go of those hierarchies. The idea that there are some things that are better and worse and so on and so forth. Those start to loosen and loosen in awareness. And it's more like you outgrow them. It's not like you have to battle them, but it's more like as you are drawn more into the peace, then the other things just start to fade away in awareness. And they become less and less and less important. To the point where you can just be in a state of stillness and not get caught up in the interpretations, the ego's interpretations anymore. You get back far enough in your mind that you're not subject to these ego judgments and interpretations.